Alright boys, so I'm here to make you a little video about how to self-craft a lot of RF gear. Um, Basically, this setup here, let me turn this down, hold on. Boom, boom, boom. Let's turn that down, that's a little loud. As I accidentally just showed you, this is basically what I had going on last week. Ended up being number 2 because I quit for a while and somebody passed me, but anyways, number 2 DPS RF. For Heist League. So basically, I'm gonna go over the crafting details. I'm gonna start with some easy stuff, right? I'm gonna start with the belt, right? So I did not make this belt. What I did do is I made this belt, right? So this was self-crafted. You can do this extremely easily. This was also self-crafted. I was trying to get increased damage, as you can see with the top line there, along with the life recovery rate, max life, and percent max life rolls. That's what this one had. This one has damage. The damage is added extra. You don't need to do that. This took about 100 pristine fossils to get this result, which is that's pretty big. It says Hunter is tier 2. That is not a tier 2 roll. I just want to point that out there. I will show you why in a second here, but that is not a tier 2 roll. So tier 1, increased max life. Tier 1, regular max life, flat, and then tier 1% increased life recovery rate. The regenerate life per second is just an absolute bonus. The mana was actually a bonus too, left a little more leeway to be able to like cast skills and stuff. So that's pretty neat. And then just an open mod to be able to put whatever resistances I wanted on it. I made and sold like 3 or 4 of these. They sold for about what that asking price was. So that's not that ridiculous of an asking price on this. And it's, like I said, super cheap to make. So basically, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You either take a Warlord orb, slam it on a Stygian Vice, and then you woke it together with an Elder. Or the same thing, but you start with a Hunter orb. Either way, you need Elder base. Elder is what is important. Hunter makes it easier to hit your rolls. Warlord does not make it easier to hit your rolls, but it adds the possibility of a percent increased damage roll, or a percent increased fire damage roll, which is also pretty. So 8 to 10% increased maximum life. Tier 1, Hunter. 7 to 10% increased maximum life, also tier 1. Now, the reason why it shows tier 2 is because this can possibly roll 7%, and tier 2 here, an Elder, is a 7% roll. That's why it shows that. It is actually a tier 1 roll. So anyways, so moving on from that, for your belt, all you need to do is pristine spam. You want life, max life, life recovery rate. This shows 1 in 420 chance to hit it. That's not right, because you have 2 different chances to hit your increased max life roll, right? But if I click this, I don't know what's going on. Before, I recorded it, and it said 19 tries, and that was wrong, obviously. So this might be accurate. It might be a 235 chance to hit these. A 1 in 235, sorry. Next, we will go to crafting a scepter. So, crafting the scepter, you need a fractured base. Well, you don't need it, but trust me, it helps a lot, okay? So, you will want a base that is either fractured with +1 level to all spell skill gems, or +1 level to all fire spell skill gems. Okay, those are ideal. You could also get one that is 30%, 38% fire damage multiplier. Now, you want 38% because you cannot divine that. So whatever you get as a fracture cannot change. You can't divine it. Okay, some people don't know that. Most people do. I'm saying it for the ones that don't. Don't get one that is a 34% and think you can divine it up. Okay, you can't do it. So, you want one of those spell gem levels and fire dot together. That's really all you care about. That is super easy to hit. It's very common. And if you're not going for anything more than those 2 rolls, I would suggest you get the fire dot fracture, because it's way more often that you hit the +1 gems than you do tier 1 fire dot. It's way more often. I spammed probably like 20,000 squares through these things, okay? I made a bunch of different scepters, sold them all. You go to my Poe Ninja, you'll see what I had, what I was wearing. It changed week to week because I upgraded and sold the old one. What I was going for on this one was to get both of those plus level of gems with the fire dot. That would have been insane. What I ended up getting was +1 all spell skill gems, the fire dot, and +1 level of lightning spell skill gems. And I died on the inside and I couldn't go anymore because that was like a 1 in 140,000 chance to hit that or some shit with the fossil setup that I was trying. Where this one, if I got the 2 that I wanted, it's only like 1 in 9,000, which again, it's a hell of a lot. We'll go over right now. So again, so these were the 3 that I was looking for, right? So if you spam a scorched fossil, I'm an idiot. This is why. Click that off. Boom. 1 in 18,000. Hit these 2. I still think that's wrong. I don't know how the hell I had it different before. But either way. You just need to hit one of these 2. You don't need to hit both of them. So like if you started with all fire spell skill gems and you wanted the dot, 1 in 270. Again, I don't it was actually wait, yeah, no, the fire dot took a lot to hit, right? So this is why I suggest you start with this. It's 1 in 38. You get +1 all fire spell skill gems. So that is obviously way more often. If you start with the fire dot, you're good. But if you don't, 1 in almost 300 and you'll hit it. And what you're looking for is just another useful suffix, right? So that way you can multi-mod. If you get your spell again, your gems, your dot, multi, and then this one happened to hit increased burning damage. It's going to be very common that you hit a third mod that's useful because you're just scorch spamming, so you can get burning damage. There's increased damage over time. If you get a better fire roll on your prefix, even there you go, because you can get more. Oh, I forgot to mention. You only need eye level 78 for this, for the fire dot multi, right? Fire dot multi 78. Spell skill gems level 55. So you require that already. You're past that. Fire is literally level 2. So you only need eye level 78. These are some of the things you can roll. You can get damage over time multi. I would suggest going with 78 specifically, so that way you eliminate all those things above it, right? So if I turn this off and turn this off, 1 in 271, but if I put eye level 78, 1 in 264. Okay, wow. Big difference, right? Not really, but hey, it could help. I don't know how to use this function. Someone teach me. I don't know how to make a fracture. No boxes pull up. So anyways, so you could do dot multi, right? That works as a suffix. You can get a fire damage suffix. That also works. Or you can get a burning damage suffix. This is the one that I hit. This would have been better, but it's like a minimal difference. But hey, 4%. And you're going for big deeps. Everything helps, right? So it's basically tier 2 of whatever I could have hit that I hit. So, and then you just multi-mod. You could multi-mod. I chose to multi-mod fire damage and damage per endurance charge, because I have 9 endurance charges, so that was 36% increased damage. What a lot of people do is they will multi-mod fire damage and the trigger suffix. So, not that one. This one. You multi-mod this so that way you don't have to self-cast whatever you got. You can throw a brand in there. You know, you can throw whatever you want in there. And that way, as you're moving around the map, it'll just do this automatically. So you don't have to click that. But like, wow, this is so hard. So I go for the damage over that, because that doesn't bother me. So those are your multi-mod options on that. Or obviously you can keep going until you hit like an insane scepter that has 5 mods on it. Good luck to you. So yeah. Next, let's go to the amulet, because the amulet is pretty straightforward. So the amulet, what we're doing is you're taking +1 int and +1 fire gems, and we'll go bring it together. That's it. That's all it takes. you want to start with a Marble Amulet, high level 83. I believe it's 83 that's required, or is it only 82? It is 82 that is required. So you only need eye level 82. Whatever you can get, eye level 82 plus, get a base. Either Hunter or Warlord, either one works. Just alt spam until you hit your skill gem, and then you can either buy any base that is pre-rolled with the other one on it, or alt spam to roll your own on something, and then you just woke orb them together. What you're hoping for is an open prefix or a high life roll and an open suffix. So if you get a high life roll, you're doing pretty good. Now you can open up other options, right? If you have an open prefix and an open suffix, you craft onto it prefixes cannot be changed. You scour that off. Now you have an amulet that is just those two mods with your +1 gems, and it's blank the rest of the way. And then you just multi-mod Frenzy and Life onto it. And then also Beastcraft aspect of the spider. That's done. If you make an amulet that is like a 6-mod amulet and it's everything's, if it's something that's useful, try to sell it or use it. Or you can try, if everything is useless besides the actual the gem mods, I would annul. You would try to annul to open up a prefix and a suffix, and then you can do what I just described to you, and that's the amulet. So as far as what you want in the amulet, fire gems, int gems, there you go. Life, this would be ideal. And then as far as other things that you can get, because you're Warlord, you can get Purity of Fire, Reduced Mana Reservation, that's a nice one, right? Or you could get Fire Dot Multi, that's a really nice one, and Malevolence Reduced Mana Reservation, which is even better than this. Because Malevolence has a higher base mana reservation cost, so this is worth more than that. I would still get the +1 min frenzy charges, so I wouldn't try to get everything. If you're trying to harvest craft this, you want these 3 prefixes 100%, and then pick 2 of these. I would not want this, but if you hit it, it's not the end of the world. I would want these 2, and then boom, frenzy charge, done. Again, this is from Heist, so I could not do that because there was no harvest and good luck it and all that stuff. Like, just absolutely good luck to you, sir. It ain't gonna happen. All right, so moving on. Yeah, I'm not gonna mention harvest crafting because I skipped Harvest League itself, and I'm not playing the current league, which has harvest available to it now. I don't care about harvest. It makes the game boring. It's too easy. Next item. We'll go over gloves. Gloves are pretty simple. So I bought these gloves without the Warlord influence, and I slammed it to get dot. That's it. I needed life. You want life, and then you want to fill in resistances, and you were going to need dexterity somewhere. Here's what happens when I take these off. I have 34 dex. I require 36 more dex. That's what happens when I take those off. So you need dex somewhere. Why not here? If not here, then here. And you can just swap stuff around. You can figure it out. I believe in you. You're an adult. Maybe. Anyways, so you want dex, resistances, damage over time. Make sure you do not get gloves that have the temple mod for fire resistances, okay? That will ruin your elemental equilibrium. It adds fire damage, and not in the way that you want. It's a flat fire damage, and that's it. You will screw yourself. You will completely gimp your damage. So yeah, so if you have your gloves, if you're trying to Warlord Slam, damage over time, and you only have an open prefix, right? You get any of the dots, it's 1 in 5 chance. Melee damage is useless. Barrage damage is useless. Spell damage doesn't actually help you, and max frenzy charges doesn't actually help you because we don't generate frenzies. We just have them from our crafts. So those don't matter. The other option, if we slam with a hunter, can get, where are we here? Fire dot multi. Open suffix on a glove. And with a hunter, you get any fire dot multi, which is much better, is 1 in 6. I didn't do that because I needed my 3 suffixes. Those are your options. Find a pair of gloves that are either already rolled like that, which is going to be really hard to find with high dex, high life, 2 high reses, and your roll, and an open, something else that's open so you can do another craft on it. It's going to be really hard. Like, there was one option available to buy, like, per month, basically, that I could buy and slam, and this was the end result. That next up is boots. So for boots, fairly straightforward. I wanted more endurance charges, so I got a synthesized +1 max endurance charge pair of boots. Now you need life, movement speed, resistances. This is a good spot to make up chaos res. So I didn't care about my movement speed very much. Running through heists, walking, things die. Whatever, don't care. So what I did is I used Aberrant, Frigid, Pristine to make these boots. About 127, that's my dog. 127 to hit a decent, at least tier 2, and then tier 3 on both cold and then chaos res, but I definitely wanted tier 1 life. Right? You can get away with less cold res, 1 in 85. You can do with less chaos res, 1 in 64 if you don't want chaos res at all. Like, it's not that hard. So they're boots. Boots are boring. Just get boots. I don't even really need to go over that. Okay, so this helmet, you're going to start by getting a base with righteous fire damage lab enchant. That's what you want. It's going to be expensive no matter what kind of helmet it is. You want eye level 82 or more. 82 is best. Because higher eye level gives you a higher chance to miss when you're doing your exalt slams. But anyways, so you can get this in either just a plain old helmet or an elder helmet. You're probably not going to find it on an elder base, or if it is, it's going to be jacked up in price. So if you just get it on a regular helmet, non-influenced, you can, or a warlord helmet, you can warlord slam it and then woke orbit into an elder helmet. So that way, that's why this is dual influenced. Yeah. So then you start horror essence spamming it, and you horror essence spam until you get obviously your essence mod, and then your burning damage mod. Go for level 20. Just do it. You're gonna invest a lot in this helmet. You want to go until you get level 20 with your LE damage. Okay. Those are the only 2 mods that matter. Obviously check every essence spam. If you get a con effect with it, just stop immediately. You have your 3. Like, boom, that's awesome. Sell the helmet, or if it's got the openings available to be able to mod it the way that I have it done, then do that. It's going to be really hard to hit all those. It's like super duper rare. So basically what I did, LE damage, burning damage, and then I got an open prefix and an open suffix. So I put suffixes cannot be changed, and I scoured away all the prefixes. So I had a 2 mod rare item to start with. From that point, you're going to start basically exalt slamming it, but you're going to exalt slam it for cheaper than normal. So what you do is you put suffixes cannot be changed, and then you go and you buy all the beasts. I forget which one it is. If it's the Wolf Alpha or the other one, or the Lynx. But whatever. You're gonna need both of them anyways when it comes to the shield. So you can get stock into both of them. But you're going to go suffix to prefix. Now, with suffixes cannot be changed on the item, when you do that, it does not remove a suffix. It just adds a prefix. So it's basically an exalt orb. But these beasts usually, for 1 exalt orb, you can buy anywhere between 3 and 5 of them. So you get 3 to 5 exalt slams for the price of 1x. It helps a lot. And we'll go into why pretty shortly here. But you're going to suffix to prefix until you hit conk effect. Doesn't matter what level conk effect you hit, stop immediately. You have a helmet that's worth 100x. Just stop. If you don't hit conk effect, scour and try again. When you scour, it'll remove whatever you slammed. It'll remove the suffixes can't be changed. And then you go back and then you put it back on. Suffixes cannot be changed. So every time you do this, it's going to cost you 2+X to do. If you didn't use the beasts, it would cost you 3x to do every time. Okay? So, now let's look into actually what we're doing here. So, we're looking to slam Conk Effect with an Exalt Orb. We have open prefixes. Okay? 1 in 69 average. But that's for level 20. Hit any of them, it's 1 in 23. That's not that bad. But basically, it's going to cost you 2 1/4. We'll average out the 2x for the craft, and then let's say you get 4 beasts per x. So it's 2 1/4 per try times 23 tries. It's going to cost you 51x on average to slam this finally. I'm not going into harvest. Harvest, your mileage may vary. Yeah, it's a lot easier. There you go. Go harvest craft this stuff. But that's what you want. You want exactly those mods, and then, you know, if you're meta crafting with harvest, I don't know. I skipped that league. But what I'm doing is I'm putting life, and I'm multi-modding life with +1 AoE gems. I'm assuming with harvest, you'll just put on AoE gems, and then you'll add chaos until you get chaos res, and then add life until you get life. I'm assuming that's what you do. Makes sense to me. I don't know. But anyways, that's how you make the helmet. I hit this in 9 tries, by the way. It took 9 slams by beast crafting to hit conk effect. So, a helmet that's worth about 100x, I made for about 25x at the end of the day. That's pretty damn good. Moving on to the shield. You're gonna have to harvest craft this shield. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that, because this is the same process as the helmet for the most part. So you're going to Woke Orb together, Shaper and Elder Shield together, with +2 max res and +3 max fire res. So that way you have 2 prefixes, and then you want an empty prefix or life, and you want at least 1 empty suffix. If you hit reduced mana reservation, oh, good for you. Good luck though. Good luck on that. But that's what you want. You need these 3 mods to move forward. So you want those 2 prefixes, and then we're doing the opposite of what we did for the helmet. We are putting prefixes cannot be changed and scouring it away. So you have just those 2 mods to start with. And then we're doing prefix to suffix craft in the bestiary until we hit 15% reduced mana reservation. I made this one after about 150 tries. I hit 10% reduced. That was really sad. It took me about 30 more tries to hit this one with 15% mana reduced. So it took me about 180 tries to get the shield that I needed at 2.25x per try. Okay? This is not cheap to make. Harvest crafting is probably going to change it. I'm going to go over it right now. Oh, well, before I actually go over that, so in League, when I was looking for this, a shield with these 3 mods does not exist besides the ones that I have. In Heist League, it didn't exist. Just didn't do it. If I went to Standard, there was 3 shields from Harvest League that were up for mirror services. Those are the only 3 shields in the game at the time of making this shield that existed that had these 3 mods on them. So that's why I had to self-craft it myself with ungodly amounts of fucking currency invested. So these are what you need to start with. So if we're like, this isn't going to change. If we're exalt slamming a suffix until we get 15% reduced mana reservation, it's going to take 112 tries on average. Right? You get the 10%, it's 56. So I was actually pretty much right on average for that. It was about 180 for tries for me, so 56 plus 112, that's like 170 almost. 168, 168 tries on average to get the 2 shields that I got. So that's really expensive. Expensive as all hell. Now, if you're doing your harvest garbage, it's way easier now, and I'm jealous of you. And it's nice and easy, but also it's too easy. It's too easy to make ridiculous ass shields or anything in Harvest League. So, those are the 3 that you want. And then multi-mod life in your res. On this one I had divine to perfect. This one I couldn't be asked. I did it way too many divines. I was already over 10k life, so I didn't care. But yeah, those are your 2 very big ticket items. The rest of them are very easy to craft. Now, you can't make these or can't afford these. You can do one of these that doesn't have the conk effect on it or doesn't have the burning damage on it. That happens. That's very easy to hit. If you buy 20 horror essences, I almost guarantee you will hit one. Okay? That's cheap. Just do it. If not, they usually sell for like 3 to 5x. Not including the lab enchant, by the way. Not including the lab enchant. Lab enchant makes it more expensive. But if you're looking for cheaper alternatives, that's how you make that cheaper. If you're looking for cheaper alternatives, well, I can't help you here. You're going to have to use a different tree than what I was using, because you are not going to have your reduced mana reservation from here. You're probably going to want to use a Sappho's Frame. Sappho's Frame was with a corruption of +1 gems is what I used up until I started making these. And that was 25C, I think I paid for that. So that's a much cheaper alternative. Belts, just make your own belt. You don't have to be perfect. If you throw 20 pristines at it, you will get something. You will get something that's, you know, tier 3 life, tier 2% life, tier 2 life recovery. Like it'll happen. You'll hit it pretty cheaply. Gloves, you don't even need the damage overtime. That was extra. Boots, the boots are cheap anyways. You don't need the +1 endurance charge. These boots without the +1 endurance charge, they're probably a couple exalts, if that, because they don't even have movement speed on them to begin with. They're not that expensive. The Scepter, just spam Scorch. That's cheap. As far as getting a fractured base, they cost a couple of exalts for fire dot multi, or for +1 fire spell gems. You get a fractured base that is +1 all spell skill gems. This was the only one that existed in the league. I paid 60 exalts for this base. You don't have to do that. You can just use a +1 fire spell skill gems and you'll get the same results almost. You lose out, I think, like 1% from malevolence. Like, yeah, you lose 1% more dot. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Again, min-maxing, why not? Go for it. I was going for the double plus gems. The only reason I got this was to go for plus gems, the double. But my eyes were burning out of my skull after spamming like 20,000 scorches. Like, I couldn't look at the screen anymore. It hurt my brain. So I just quit and settled on this. But to make one, what was it? What was it? It was 1 in 40 chances. Like with Scorch, like that's not that bad. Just go do it. It's easy. I'm not going over crafting this. The rings. So the rings were, I always forget. The anger. Yeah. So you want deafening essences of anger. It's very simple. Just get a ring and start spamming that. Again, +1 endurance charge. So for all 3 of these, the bases cost 10x for the synth mod. Yeah, so +1 endurance charge. And then you put your Oh, what even is it? I haven't played in a while, so what am I looking for here? These. There you go. Fertile catalysts. That's what they are. Don't mind me. Start with your fertile catalyst before. Makes it cheaper. Also, it will protect the life roll if you go to annul. So you start with your 4. You put 4 fertiles on it, on a white ring, and then start spamming your deafening essences of anger until you get a tier 1 life with your fire damage. The third mod, these mana, the mana and the energy shield, those were miss slams. Those don't matter. You just want life and fire damage. And then start annulling until you have extra space for more things. So I was going for a ring with resistances before. It's almost impossible to hit what you need because I wanted a resist, fire damage, and increased life, and then I just wanted to put my frenzy charge on it. That's all I wanted. Can't multi-mod that because you're filling up your suffixes. But like I probably went through like, I don't know, 2,000 essences trying to get that, and it just didn't happen for me. So while I was trying to hit something like that, I hit 2 where I annulled and was able to put the multi-mod on for damage and a Min Frenzy. Min Frenzy is extremely important. Damage is just extra. So if you can just get max life, fire damage, and an open suffix, go for it. You don't have to multi-mod and make it expensive. But again, 10x for the base. You might as well go in, right? So that's what the rings are. Getting your 3 frenzy charges is very important. A hell of a lot of damage to get those, so make sure you do that when you're crafting. And then I'm pretty sure in the first video I went over making these jewels. You want to get a fractured base, a fractured crimson jewel with 7% increased max life. That is your best odds of hitting what you want. And then you just want fire dot, fire damage, burning damage. Those are your 3 best mods. Best in slot 100%. So fire damage, max life, burning damage, fire dot multi. With just Scorched, it's apparently 140 to 1 to hit it. I don't believe this in any way, shape, or form. I just don't believe it. Because it was taking me roughly anywhere from 200 to 600 Scorch spam to make each one with a fracture that already had life. So you didn't even need to hit life. Okay? Those are pretty easy. Just Scorch spam, a fractured jewel, and you will hit it eventually. It's pretty easy. Alright? Alright. Again, any more questions? Leave them in the comments and I will answer you. Thank you. Bye.